New video from Gimme More Squeeze, and I just wanted to make a quick update on BBIG and what's happening and what to look for next. So today we did end up having a really decent run again, like 15% on the day, even though we did have a bit of a dip in the after hours, losing around 5% at that time, closing at 863. So looking at the chart again, we did have a bit of a dip in the pre-market, pretty similar to the day before. Really similar movement. The only difference here is instead of opening with a dip, we did open with a really good run. I think hitting 1190 at the max of the day, and then obviously again this could be a sell-off. A lot of people could be taking profits, especially if you came in the day before at the previous dip here, which was like 550. That's very justifiable. But again, a lot of people are still in this for the long game. So a lot of buyers did show up throughout the day, carried the stock all the way to like 1049, and then it kept dropping and moving in that consolidation zone. And again, I said like on my Twitter page, this could be boring to a lot of people, but after a big movement like that one, I want to see some consolidation where the stock starts building new support. So initially we did have like the 930 range where it would bounce up every time, but again it ended up breaking that and going all the way down to like 830, and then 860 at some point here, and then it kept like bouncing up and down from here. Did have a really decent run in the power hour, last hour of the market, all the way to 985. During the same time, if you took a look at a lot of stocks, they were falling at that time, so I was like impressed by that conviction for a lot of people to push the stock up during while the rest of the market is almost red. Specifically, like this pie was red at that time, so that's pretty impressive for me. Looking from here, it went to like 863. I want to point out that on the day before, you had a really similar dip here in the after hours, and then it started going up, and then you ended up in the day. So what does that mean? Would we be green or red tomorrow? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to push this down a bit to like 650, but I think we will get a good bounce from there, and I'm gonna tell you why in a moment while we go over the data here. So I want to go over a few things. First of them is obviously Ordix and what's happening. And they're doubling down. So they increased again 14%, 0.93 today. Again, this is T-2, so this stuff is probably added on Monday or Tuesday night. Again, this is 85% of the exchange reported data, so there might be more short interest than that. So currently we're sitting around 42.7% from the actual float, which is ridiculously high. Utilization went back up again. For yesterday, I mentioned that it had a drop, but again, today you're back up to like 98.66. And this is really important for the movement because this just means that there's really not much shares out there that can be borrowed. Another thing I want to point out is definitely the cost to borrow went ridiculously high. So 7 days ago, it was like 71.77, and today you're looking at 105.82, which is like a 47.43% change. Really high for someone who's trying to actually short the stock. This is a really high cost to borrow. So something definitely to look for, especially with the high utilization. Any buying pressure would cause a lot of shorts to start covering. I'm not saying that this is gonna squeeze tomorrow or it will squeeze like in the after hours or something like that. Anything is possible, but it's just like the data that justifies the case. Again, I want to go over like unusual whales. I'm gonna leave a referral code for you guys if you want to join. Unusual whales is one of the amazing tools I use to get more idea about the sentiment and what's going on, what kind of flow a specific stock is having, looking at option alerts for that stock and so on. So it's a very useful tool, and I think they do have a Labor Day sale, so it would be cheaper to join now. So looking at the flow in general, you have the number of calls versus puts. Whales are the people who go in the stock with like more than usual money. So you're looking at someone who's buying like calls for 200 grand or whatever per transaction. So 68% are on the calls and 31.9 are on the puts. Volume in general, calls to puts, really good. You have 75.1% and you have 24.9 for the puts. Ask and bid side, you have like 51.7% going for the ask, which just shows that there's a lot of desperation to get into these calls and get into that stuff. So definitely overall does look still bullish to me, at least on the short term. I want to go quickly on the alerts, show you guys here. So if I go on the alerts, I want to go BBIG. And then again, these are the alerts and the times that they came in. So not a lot of alerts were at the end of the market, but as you can see here, somebody did purchase the 17th of September $12 call when the stock was at 978, and he did end up paying $1,662,520. A ridiculous amount of money and a huge bet being put on BBIG that it would be above $12 by 17th of September. So that just shows you the sentiment in general. Again, somebody purchased a put, but overall, the amount of flow I'm seeing going into calls is bigger, so that just shows you. As long as we're doing higher lows by the day, I'm happy with that. I know it's here on the day. I want to point out something really interesting on Finviz. As you can see here, this is the trend line. We did end up breaking the trend line, which signifies a potential up movement from here. Again, we did end up making a higher high, so 988 was where we were last time, and then this time we reached all the way to 1190, so that's really good as well. Monstrous volume, 314 million. A lot of transactions happening on that stock. This is becoming, by the day, gaining more volume. I was expecting that volume would cool off a bit, but honestly, I'm being impressed day by day by BBIG gaining more volume somehow, so this is really good. Another thing I wanted to point out is the potential talks that BBIG and Zash, which are partner companies, are looking into acquiring a company called Lomotif, which is technically a short video. So the planned Lomotif acquisition should add a great deal value for Vinco shares. And with the company moving forward on the physical front, Vinco Ventures remains a growth story worth watching and investing in. That's like a bull, and then a bear would definitely say that everything against that. But looking at Lomotif, it's a company that actually I think it's pretty similar to TikTok, to be honest, like where you can turn your favorite moments to music videos, like short videos with music. So it does have potential in general, and it does have a lot of users as well. So definitely an acquisition of something like this would help justify the fundamental part of BBIG, because so far most people going to this play are looking at a short squeeze. But fundamentally, the stock overall, as you can see here, it wasn't doing well quarter by quarter, or sales in general, it was in the negatives. So maybe something like that could start changing that, and especially right now with the pricing that price action that's happening and like a lot of people coming in, this could start being better, and they can start doing something like AMC when they started making offerings, raising extra capital, making those types of acquisitions and mergers and so on, that would help the company grow further as a fundamental stock rather than just being a squeeze play. So overall sentiment looks bullish. Definitely will keep you guys posted on any updates, and I'll post another video for tomorrow as well. And hope you guys enjoyed that. Feel free to subscribe, smash that like button, leave comments, and let me know if you guys have any suggestions or any other tickers that you want to have discussed on the channel, and I'll make the effort to make that video for you guys. And I hope you enjoyed that one.